Ring Rust podcast with our three, I don't know if we call this a co or a tri-host, where Daryl Marin, Evan Grice, and Damon Waitman, the three amigos here. So like I said, this is our first ever video podcast that we're going to be putting out, aptly named the Ring Rust podcast. You know, launched during quarantine. Everybody's just got so much rust to shake off when we come back at it. But today we're going to our interview is actually going to be a three-way interview between all of us. So it's not just going to be I'm going to pose the questions, but these two athletes from our club are going to be answering all the questions. So Evan, how you doing today?
I'm good, just hanging out, getting through quarantine. Not looking forward to work tomorrow.
Damon, yourself?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Feeling good. Trying to stay active during this quarantine and, keep trucking along.
Yeah, for sure. I feel that. All right, boys, let's get right into it. So today we're actually going to start off talking about our martial arts journey. So instead of, jumping right into, hot topics, let's figure out where everybody came from. So our first question is, we'll start with Evan. I'm just looking clockwise on my screen here. Damon, you can answer this question as well. What got you guys started in martial arts? Like, what was the journey? What was the past? Like for some people, it's watching martial arts movies. It's getting bullied. There's so many different reasons for people to start their journey, right? Evan, you're up first.
All right. No, I remember I watched Brock Lesnar and Frank Mir on the TV. I don't know how old, maybe 12. I was like, this is awesome. Just blood everywhere. My mom.
The hammer fist of doom to take out Mir.
And my mom was freaking out. She's like, you can't watch this. Like, turn it off. But I was like, I want to watch this. I watch highlights now and then. And then some little gym, they're doing like a $30 membership a month. I was like, all right, let's try it out. And I was 19.
So when you started, sorry to cut you off, when you started, you're saying your goal was to get jacked like Brock Lesnar?
No, it wasn't my goal. I just wanted to be a tough guy. I wish. Friggin' no, because when I was in school, I was just a little chubby fat kid. So I just really, really didn't do anything. And I trained at a little boxing gym out here, and I would just hit the bag, and I was still smoking darts, being an idiot. And
you
I was
being
19.
an idiot? Come on.
Never, man.
I know. It doesn't make sense. But then, so I joined this little martial arts gym, $30 a month, and I did 3 no-gi jiu-jitsu classes. And I was literally going, hacking a dart, going and rolling jiu-jitsu, just getting murked every single time. And then I was 19, go to the bar, I'm in the smoke pit, and some girl wouldn't leave me alone. She's just talking to me. She's like, wait, what do you do for fun? I was like, oh, I'm a fighter. I was like, I'm a fighter. Been the friggin'
Oh, the best line ever at a bar to pick up chicks.
One thing led to another. I end up dating this girl, and I'm like, okay, I got to live up to this.
Surprise.
Fighter. Found Dark Side, and I'm training, I'm fighting. And then, long story short, I loved it. I never knew how to fight. I love learning. I love doing it. And funny thing is, it led to our breakup because I spent too much time at the gym and couldn't go to the bar with her. So
that's a whole nother topic for later on. That's like a topic down the line. We're gonna get into that later on. David, how about you? What got you on your martial arts quest?
Well, I always watched UFC with my old man, Chuck Liddell, Tito Ortiz, Randy Couture back in the day, and I always liked it, but I was always busy with my other sport, which was motocross. So that was always full time. And then, we couldn't ride in the winter, obviously, because of snow. So I joined a boxing gym actually to keep my cardio going for the off season. And I kind of just loved it. And then, I took some years off and then continued racing motocross. But I've always liked the fighting and the competition with it. And, and I felt like I'd be pretty good at it. I kind of got a wake up call when I came into a gym though, but not as tough as you think you are, but yeah,
you never are. That's the beauty of martial arts. It's the most humbling thing.
It's humbling. It's humbling. Yeah.
What about you, D?
Right. So that actually kind of, for me, you asked me what started me.
Man.
I grew up, the youngest out of a big French-Canadian family with lots of cousins. So, you know, whenever we had family barbecues, it was like, oh, all my dad's brothers would, you know, giggle and all the kids would be out fighting in the yard. And, you know, grew up watching Van Damme movies and, you know, growing up in that, like, you know, fighting society where I had always had like a passion for it. I always really enjoyed it. Because I grew up in Northern Ontario, my actual availability for combat sports outside of like wanting to do like karate or taekwondo, combat sports, even boxing, like even a boxing club was very hard to find. I remember taking a couple karate classes and literally standing there just doing forms, and then I was like, I just want to hit something. Like, can I just smash this guy? Exactly, like, you know what I mean? Nothing against karate. Like, every martial art definitely has a purpose. For me, a kid at that age, you know, a lot of pent up aggression. Believe it or not, I was a very high-strung, aggressive kid. Believe it or not.
No way.
So, like I said, you know, in Northern Ontario, I really had nothing to do outside playing hockey. You know, hockey was life. I moved to Southern Ontario. You know, I was young, had a young family, and martial arts for me was that outlet for stress. So, like, it definitely changed my life. Being able to, like, you know, deal with, you know, rents due, paying bills. I was literally 21 years old, and I had my son, so I was still a baby, right? So, you know, I couldn't even imagine where my life would have been without finding martial arts to get started. But leading into our second question, you guys kind of touched on this a little bit. Where did you guys decide that training martial arts would lead to fighting? Or did you guys know that you just wanted to fight? You didn't, like, one way or another you wanted to fight? Did you know that coming in you wanted to fight? Or was it something you picked up along the way?
Yeah, I always wanted to fight. I, you know, always got in a little bit of trouble, especially with my buddies. And I don't know, my old man told me, he's like, he got me into Muay Thai, actually. He showed me my first gym. So I got to take my hat off to him and show me that, or else, like, yeah, I don't know what I'd be doing right now. So
your first gym, so you trained at multiple gyms?
Yeah, actually, I trained at a gym before, and it was, you know, I didn't know what to expect going in. So, you know, I just open mind, went in there, and I found out really quick, you know, it was a bad vibe. I didn't really like what was going on. And
yeah, so let's not, if I cut you off, let's not throw any dirt on anybody. Like, let's not try to call out anybody's name. We don't have to name the gym or whatever. That's cool. I'm not saying this is a PC podcast by any means, but you know, if we could keep us off the internet radar, it's probably good.
Yeah, for sure. I wasn't gonna mention any gym names. I just didn't like the vibe of the gym, you know.
All right. So, what was one of the vibes like? What about the place didn't you like? Like, did you feel like you were getting a bad vibe from the trainers, from other teammates? You know, sometimes even the location. Like, you know, I've heard people like walk into gyms. It's like, oh, this place is too dirty, or this place feels too commercial. Like, what kind of vibe were you getting?
Yeah, there's maybe a little bit of everything, you know, and I'd say more trainers. It was I know I could just sense something different, you know. Like I trained somewhere else, like when I was younger, you know, and it wasn't like anything like that. So then I kind of, I don't know if maybe I held a little bit of a higher standard or whatever, but I don't know. I didn't get the vibe I was like looking for, you know. Okay.
Evan, same question to you. Like, what got you into fighting? Like, you've already made it clear, like, you know, your mom and your dad wanted nothing to do with you competing. So is this something like you decided to fight almost to spite them, or did you do it as in like, this is something I want to do, no one's going to tell me that I can't do something?
No, well, like, the thing is, like, I know it's not PC, but to be honest, like, when I was a kid, like, I felt like a bitch, to be honest with you. So I was like, you know what, like, these fighters going out and doing the damn thing, like, it's like, that's cool. Like, that's respectable. Like, they're putting everything on the line. I was like, I want to do that. And then when I came to Dark Side, first thing I said is I wanted to fight. And I think I joined, and 3 months later, I jumped into a fight. I didn't cut weight. I lost my first fight. Like I went at 155. I was eating food, jumped on the scale. I was 155 even. Like it was a piece of cake. And after then, I got whooped. My cardio wasn't up. And from then, it was almost just like improvement. It's like self-bettering yourself, and it's just challenging yourself to be the best you can be. And I just kept going with it. And it was just, it's like the way I describe fighting, it's like the ultimate test. Like it's the ultimate test of heart. It's the ultimate test of skill. Like you prove yourself and you show your true colors and who you really are. And from that first moment, even though I lost, it was just like the ultimate thrill, the ultimate adrenaline rush. And it's like nothing compares. Like I'll jump off an airplane. It's not going to be the same as me stepping in the cage or stepping in the ring. Like it's the best feeling ever. So it's just, I went and I did it once. I wanted to do it. I didn't know if I could do it. I went and I wanted to do it. After that first time, I was just hooked. Like I just wanted to do it. It was just the ultimate test. It was just something that like I was so friggin' scared every time. I was so nervous. I was scared. I was excited. It was just every emotion all in one. And even 10 times that when you jump into the ring or the cage, it's almost just like, it's almost like a drug. Like you just want to keep doing it. You just want to keep going. You just want to keep going to the next one. It's just, I don't know. I was just hooked from the first one.
Nice. So you guys touched on this a little bit. You guys each kind of touched on a little bit about coming to the gym for the first time. So when you guys first walked into the gym, or let's say your first class, what was your first impression like? This is always good to hear, especially when people have trained at other clubs. Like for me, a lot of times I get people that train at 2-3 clubs, or may have been at one club for a long time and they relocate to a new city. So, usually that's a big change for people, especially if, let's say, one of their coaches tell them to kick or punch like this, and I may tell them to do something completely different. Like I was saying, what was your guys' first impression and the main thing that popped out to make you guys want to stay at the club? So either one of you guys can take the lead on this one.
I'll take this. So I went, like Damon, I bounced around a few gyms initially, and I was just like, all right, I guess this is what you're supposed to do. And every single coach I went to, I just assumed that they were the master at what they're doing. And then eventually I came to Dark Side, and I'm just learning different stuff, learning everything just so intricate. And I'm like, okay, these guys really know, they really know their stuff. They're really legit. And I don't know. Even when I came to the gym, though, I was nervous. I was scared. And I'm just looking around. And I'm like, okay, to be honest, these guys are kind of dicks. I was like, all right, Daryl, this guy's hard-nosed. We got Jack was fighting at the time. He's kind of –
So did you say the other guys are dicks, or you just
these guys are dicks?
Oh, everyone at the top of the totem pole was kind of a dick. And then that's the vibe I got. And I was like, okay, Daryl's kind of a dick, but he knows his stuff, and he's hard-nosed. He's ready to go. And I don't know. It was a weird vibe at first. It was like, hey, I don't feel like I'm in place. But after the first fight trip we had, after we went out to Indiana.
Hold on. Let's not jump ahead. We're gonna get on this a little bit later. We're gonna jump into that, but I don't want to hear the rest. I just want to hear your first impressions. It's okay. All right. So Damon, Evan thought I was a dick, and he thought everyone else was a dick. So now it's your turn.
Right. Well, I didn't think you were a dick, but I felt like I felt like
all right. This is the podcast that I wanted. This is where we start rocking.
Yeah, I remember actually one of my first classes.
Of a dick. All right, here we go.
I remember one of my first classes here. I think it was actually my first, and it was near the end of class, and I was hitting the bag, and I realized you came over and you corrected, you saw what I was doing. You watched me for a second. You saw what I was doing, and you corrected me or gave me pointers on something right away, and it showed me that I got the vibe that this guy has a passion for it. So, you know what I mean? This is where I want to be. He could help me get better or get me to where I want to be, in the fight game at least, right?
That's a TV show answer. That's BS. That's a TV show answer right now, Damon.
Buddy, I'm Hollywood, baby.
Yeah, but what he's saying is that –
no, straight up.
Is that he saw that we saw the details.
No, 100%.
Details, and I thought, my past gym, really, man, there's not a lot of people there, right? So, you get a little chip on your shoulder. You think you're the best, and you come in here and then you really realize how much stuff you have to work on from guys that actually know what they're doing and like guys that train, guys that fight. You know what I mean? And
100%.
yeah, and I got that vibe off Daryl right away, especially because I sparred my first week with him, man. And you know, it wasn't
Man,
the best experience.
same thing. Touching on what you're saying, like my first like 8 months in martial arts at a different gym, I literally was taught to kick. I kicked with my foot, and I was told that was cool. Like I got hematomas on the top of both my feet right now. Like I was told that was not your shin, it was your foot. Like my feet look like goblin feet right now, and that's just because I didn't know how to kick, and I just got used to it.
Nice.
Maybe for other reasons too, but yeah.
All right, so moving into my next topic. You guys each kind of got into this a little bit. You know, regardless if you guys were with us, like I just want to know in general, what was your first fight? Like Damon, like what was your first fight? No, I'm talking like competitive fight. I'm not talking, you know, you blindsiding somebody in the Roxanne's parking lot, like outside of like either boxing, Muay Thai, MMA.
Yeah, okay. My first fight.
Jiu-jitsu fights, they're matches.
Yeah, my first fight was WKF provincial tournament, and
is that the one in Mississauga at Gerald's?
Yeah. And I fought one of Gerald's guy, Evolution it was, right?
Yeah.
So I fought one of his guys, and the nerves got to me, and I just went out there swinging, right? I ended up getting a third round TKO, but it was just a wild experience, man. I was just like, it's definitely.
Do you attribute your first win to like your Muay Thai training, or just the fact that you just were tough and wanted to fight?
Straight up, man, tell you the truth, tough and wanted to fight.
Fair enough.
Literally.
Mr. Grice, yourself, do you remember your first fight?
I remember mine. So I went, I think it might have been WKF provincials too. And it was, cause usually like I'm a 145er. I went and I didn't know what to do. I was walking around like 158. I was like, okay, let's sign up for this 155. So I went, literally I'm drinking water, like right before weigh-ins, like I hop on the scale, like I'm half pound under, and I'm like, okay, good to go. And I remember Jack was fighting on the same thing, and Jack just like looked at me and just shook his head when I stepped on the scale, because he's like, this guy doesn't take it seriously. Because I didn't. Like I was just like, all right, like 155, let's do it. And then I fought. Who did I fight? Ronan Drysdale. He's a
it was the guy from T-Mac. It was the guy from Timmins, right?
Yeah, Matty Poulin's guy. So I went for that first round. I was just kind of chucking bombs, just going hands on my chest, just chucking bombs, trying to do whatever. And I remember after that first round, like it was the biggest rush, but I literally was the most tired I've ever been in my life. I was like, this is just ridiculous. And literally I just cruised every single time you come close and just clinch. But when I clinched, no knees, whatever. And just at the end of that, I knew I lost the decision, which I ended up losing. And from that, I was just like, okay, I need to get better. I need to keep going. I need to win my next fight.
Straight up.
All right, so when you guys, I'm going to give you guys my point of view when I saw. Like, Damon, you were with another club back in the day. So we're going to kind of do a little backspin here about what, you know, you guys gave me your point of view when you first came to the gym. Now I get to give you guys my point of view. Evan, I'm going to save you for the end because you called me a dick. So
you're getting roasted.
Damon, I was actually at your first fight. So I was there. Back then I was the Muay Thai lead in Ontario, myself and Todd Wetter for the WKF. And we had organized that tournament, and I do remember that fight when you fought Gerald's guy. What I remember is a guy that was in pretty good shape, that had long, shaggy hair, almost like he couldn't figure out if he wanted to play hockey or if he wanted to go be the bass guitarist for Nirvana. Now, is this a fair assumption? Is this a fair assumption? Like
what I remember is like I thought he had a little bit shorter hair, but you know, it was a fight. So
no, it was definitely like kind of like popped out, kind of like shaggy hair. Yeah. I do remember that fight. You know, it was a back and forth fight. I remember you just being a little stronger and a little more aggressive for him. And then when you came to the gym, my first impression with you, because I was actually a lot of our new members don't know this, but I was fighting your coach. So
Yeah.
when you had your family had actually came and met me about 6 months before you actually joined.
Yeah.
So you came over, or sorry, yeah, they came over first. They kind of trained. Your dad actually told me, "Oh, I have my son. He wants to join too, but he's busy with work right now." Blah blah blah. So you, unfortunately for you, you came over about a month before I was supposed to fight your coach.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you came into the ring, you know, and when I brought you into the ring, it was basically for me to study you. I wanted to see how you move, because a lot of times you can pick up a lot from a student about how the rest of the team's going to fight, right? So whenever I go to shows, like I watch certain fighters. If I know my guys, let's say take Krudar, for example, if one of my guys is going to fight a student from Krudar, I like to see the combinations that gym throws. I like to watch like how they move. Now, it's nothing against that gym. It's just, you know, a lot of the trainers, when you're in class, you guys learn the same stuff, correct? You guys learn the same combinations. You learn the same things. So you can learn a lot just from watching one person. Like I can learn about the coach and about what he's gonna do by what he's taught his students. So when you came into the ring with me and I sparred you the first time, you know, even though you're green, I think you had maybe 1 or 2 fights under your belt.
Yeah.
Moved around with you a little bit. I do remember hitting you with a nice little body shot, and I thought to myself, okay, he's strong, but he doesn't really know a lot. And if he's been training with this guy for a while, his coach doesn't know a lot.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's true, man.
So nothing against you, right? So when you guys came over, it was like a fresh set of clay. Now, Evan, little fucker, when you came over, when you started at the gym, I actually have a picture of this. We're going to edit this. So a nice little picture. Evan pops up when he's like looking like a child. I think you were like 20 or 21 years old when you joined us at the club.
I might have been 19. It might have been 19.
Yeah, like you were looking like I wish I had another phone so I could like bring the picture up here for you. But yeah, like you were pretty green when you started with us. And when you started, you actually came with somebody. You came with somebody else that everybody thought the other guy was going to be the star. And I picked off right off the bat that the other guy didn't really want to train.
Like even before you get going on that, it was
a gym star. Yeah, a guy and he'll train hard at the gym. You know, he'll say he wants to fight, but then when you get him a fight, they're a ghost. Boom, gone forever.
Well, that's the thing.
After the fight happens, or he'll show up the day before this fight was supposed to be, and be like, "Oh, well, you know, I can still take the fight if you want me to." Blah blah blah. Like, dude, like if you really wanted to fight, you would have showed up for training the last 3 weeks.
Well, that's the thing. Like, even with that guy at the gym before, like he got all the attention. Like they didn't see they saw me as nothing. So he would go and he'd get the attention. He'd get the extra pad rounds. He'd get the extra sparring with whoever. And I was just in the background. Like I wanted this, but they didn't see the opportunity in me. So it's kind of
Oh yeah. Yeah. So when you came to the gym, it was actually a big transitional period for us. Like, we had a lot of A-class fighters fighting at the time. We were going to New York City. We had guys going to like WKF World Championships in Italy. We had some people scheduled to go to IFMA, you know, Friday night fights. And then we had a big falling out, and I literally cleared house and reshuffled the deck. Yeah. It was like something that, in my opinion, I don't know if it was the right move, but to me, it just had to be done. Yeah. You know, at the time, it had to be done. And I still remember this. So I was training with one of the athletes. You know, they were looking, you know, they're planning on going to IFMA or going to the World Championships. And they had said something to me that literally, like, you know, like what am I wasting my time with people like this for, when I have a kid over here that, you know, I have a whole gym of kids over here that don't get my time, that don't get those pad rounds. So I still remember this day. I said something to her, or I shouldn't say who it was. I won't. Said something to them, and they gave me an answer that was like almost like a smack in the face. So I'm like, you know what? I'm done with you. I'm done. I looked over on the floor, and you were the first kid I saw. And I'm like, hey, Evan, why don't you come in the ring and train with me? And you were like, big eyes, just like, oh my God. Like, really?
Yeah.
Come in the ring? And then he came in, and I went home that night, and I just said, you know what? I had a better time training these new kids that I brought in the gym tonight than I have been training these elite fighters who feel like they're entitled to taking my time and my resources.
Yeah,
Where, you know, I would rather give it to somebody that wants it and appreciates it than someone that thinks that I owe it to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you know, you guys came at a great transitional time. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know, I think we're gonna leave it at that for this podcast. Our next podcast, guys, we're gonna get into some team trips. We're gonna get into some travel. But like I said, guys, this is an awesome Ring Rust podcast. So everybody, stay tuned. We'll be coming back. If you guys have never taken a team trip with us, you guys are missing out because the frat boys really come out when we get out on the team trip. So we're gonna drop the stories for it, and we're gonna have some fun in episode 2. All right, I'll see you guys soon.
Peace out.
See ya.